and welcome back to the Kilted Kickoff. Well, it was another fallow week, as much as we love them, but there was some good club rugby. We had a big win in Cork. We had a streak end at Scotstoun. Joining me as always, it's my lovely co-host, Dan. How you getting on, bud?
Ah, I'm glad that you asked me how I was. I thought you were going to jump straight into it there.
No, I always
Ah,
ask for you.
mixed feelings, if I have to be honest. I thought we were going to get two Scottish pro sides winning on the same weekend, but having both Glasgow and Edinburgh win on the same weekend in the URC, it seems to be, like unicorn. They just don't come across that often. It's almost impossible to have Glasgow and
Hmm.
Edinburgh win. And we'll touch on the manner of it later. But other than that, it's good. Busy, keeping away. Looking forward to getting back to Murrayfield
Hmm.
next weekend. So yeah, what about you?
I've had a busy week because the oldest had chickenpox, so that's been fun.
Um,
But he's all good. He's back to school tomorrow.
how,
I think he
how
wants it as well.
how
He
bad were the chicken pox?
Not bad. Yeah, I think he managed to like be quite fortunate, but yeah, just because like protocol, you have to keep them off. So
You want them to have it a little bit. 'Cause I know my one of my brothers, he had chicken pox. The first time he had it so mild that he caught it again like 3 or 4 years later. And then
okay.
because I think if the dosage is fairly mild, you can get it again. Where I got it once, and you know, I looked like one of those things out of a Discovery magazine. I was awful.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Anyway, that's enough about chickenpox. But yeah, busy week, been a busy old week on the parent front. But rugby was good. Kept my mind at ease, and we'll dive straight into it. Friday Night Lights in Cork, Edinburgh. Yes, I'm not stuttered there. Edinburgh beat Munster away from home. Big
were you
win.
ready for war?
We were evidently, yeah. It was great.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
to be fair, Edinburgh had a lot more players missing due to injury and international
Hmm.
than what Munster did. So that was a huge, huge win in the Virgin Park or the Virgin Stadium, whatever they call it.
Virgin Media Park or something like that.
I
It's
take
like
away
the
the media.
take away the media, Virgins. No, it was a good game, and you know what? Compared to like, if you look at like the side by side, like pretty much the same squad went out against Sudbury
Uh-huh.
2 weeks ago and got beat.
Other than Maggie.
Apart from Magnus, but even still, I don't think that's a big. But he played great. I'm not taking that away from him. But like, yeah, it was like night and day. It was unreal. Scrum dominance for the ages.
Oh, I've got one thing about that. I don't think I've seen a team get so many scrum penalties and the
No, they
opposition
can't.
don't concede a card. Because
Yeah,
I
that
think
was
John
weird.
Barrington afterwards, it was like 9 scrum penalties I think Edinburgh got in a game, which is ridiculous. Even if Edinburgh knocked the ball on, it was just as good as they could have purposely knocked that on and just got a penalty and kicked it down the
Yeah,
park. That's how reliable the scrum was.
but this needs to become a weapon.
It does. It does. Again, that's Power Bow inventor for me. I thought in the scrum
Oh yeah.
he's such a good player.
Well, Inventor was awesome. Magnus Bradbury put in a hell of a shift. Considering we won, he still put in 20 tackles.
Yeah.
Ben Muncaster. What a
Now
return for him. That was great.
I felt bad for Crosby being injured. Like he got himself injured before I even put the game on. I missed like the first five
Oh,
minutes.
I seen it and it actually annoyed me. Because I thought he was taking. I don't know how bad it is or the extent. And I know what Crosby is not exactly like a weak player or a weak-minded player, but the way
Mm.
it looked, especially from TV, it didn't look like that bad a hit. It didn't even look like an awkward hit. He just went in, bang, and you could just see him like walk off. I'm like, nah, you're joking, right? 20 seconds on the clock, and you're walking, and he just walked away. Like, just continued to walk down to the sideline. I'm like, nah, surely not. Sure, you've not done your shoulder, like
Like that.
just like that. And I mean, he didn't get subbed off officially till about the third or fourth minute of the game, which is insane.
Yeah, it's they had that. I'm not going to swear because it's bad for the algorithm, but that big B back row, like I was really excited to see that Crosby, Muncaster, Maggie. Now I
Mm.
know that two out of the three still played, and I think that's partly what gave the scrum so much power.
I mean,
Was
Hamish Watson's no slouch, is he?
oh yeah, Hamish Watson's a little bit though.
But no, I get where, and it finally happened. Benville got started the game, and look at the tempo we're playing with.
Oh, I love that man so much. I think he's so good. People who have listened to us from day one, I've wanted him to be involved in Scotland squads, like in the autumn tests and that. I was screaming for him to be involved. I think he is such a great player, and
Yeah.
he's under like Duhan and Darcy. He's just underutilized at Edinburgh. You start
So
him from
you're
the beginning, use him
just saying,
properly, and watch him go.
just saying that, right? Because you've seen the pace we were using
Yeah.
or producing with Velcott 9. Could you imagine if we went full noise and you had Duhan and Darcy on the wings at that
Mm-hmm.
tempo?
And
Oh,
Bob at the back.
unreal.
Yeah.
But saying that, Matt Curry got a hat trick. Might have been the most lucky of hat tricks I've ever seen, but
Yeah.
a hat trick nonetheless, and he was great.
Yeah.
The first try, I said it to you that I kind of laughed. I was like, "There's no way he's got that," and it's because had that happened to Edinburgh, I'd be spitting teeth.
What
It's
the
one of them.
Clarky
Oh,
try when he
yeah,
went to touch it down and just ran past it.
just completely missed the ball, and then Matt Curry went, "Oh, thanks, try." I was like, "No."
Uh,
The second try, to be fair, was just sheer speed of the ball and power off Curry.
mhm.
Very well worked pass, and he just like drove himself over, and it was great to see. And then the third one, I think it was like a loose kick, nobody called for it, and then he just grubbered it and chased it on and scored again.
The Virgin Media Park is now going to be called the Curry House. Three servings of
Uh, I said that in the video. Nobody took me up on that joke.
curry.
Quite disappointed.
I missed that. I saw you put something in the group chat about it.
But yeah, I just kept like, anyone hungry for more curry?
Oh,
And he just kept scoring. I was like, I'm full. Three portions I've had now. But yeah, overall, just such a
mhm.
whiff of fresh air from Edinburgh.
Yeah. I mean, is that a Sean Everett keeping his job to the end of the season one, or do you think there's something about his attack style that's finally clicked?
See if this is the turnaround and we start proper marching on, then fine. I will take back what I said
Mhm.
about Everett. If we instantly revert back away to Benetton, then no, I'll stay on the same boat.
Yeah, it kind of
They're gonna
good
have to
an
go.
emotional response from Zebre. The only thing that I didn't like is Edinburgh were so far ahead at half time that it did look like they switched off after
Mm,
about 10 minutes into the second half, and they did slowly start to let Munster back into it, and they gave Munster two losing bonus points, which was completely unnecessary. And let's
mm.
be frank, Munster are going to be hunting around the same bit of the table that Edinburgh are. They're going to be a
I mean,
playoff rival. So
well, what was it? 29-7 up at half time and it finished 34-28.
yeah,
Yeah. Mm. Mm.
so yeah, we scored one try second half.
Yeah, Matt Curry's hat trick, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it just I don't look. They are winning's a habit, so I won't go too hard on them. I just
I think the way I
hope
seen it
they
was
don't come back to bite them. That's all.
no, I agree. I think the way I seen it was like what we can do when we're on attack, hence the big margin at half time, but then
Uh-huh.
not having that mentality to like, right, let's kill it. Let's like stand on their throat, sort of stuff.
Yep.
That also kind of shows you where Edinburgh's actually at.
Yeah.
Like when we're attacking, even when Munster were starting to pull it back a little bit, when we were attacking, there was good bits. There was a lot of free flowing rugby. I'm like, okay, great, but like defensively, it's like we switched off because Munster showed nothing in that first half, really.
No, nothing at all. It's just,
But yeah,
uh,
no, I get what you're
it,
saying.
it is what it is. Um,
Sixth in the URC now, so there's that.
oh, I was just trying to get the table up here in front of me. But
Well,
six in the
sorry.
URC, that's
So
where.
I
Mhm.
said sixth. It was more like we went to sixth after that game. We were the first game that weekend, so I don't actually know the updated.
Let's have a look. I'll just put it up in front of me.
Huh.
We have moved into seventh. Cardiff have gone into sixth. Munster are in fifth. Although,
So right now it's Glasgow Edinburgh in the playoffs.
yeah, if we didn't give Munster those 2 bonus points, no,
Hmm.
Munster would still be ahead of us by a point.
Hmm.
But yeah, so right now, if the table was to finish as it stood, yeah, we play Glasgow in the quarters.
At Hampden. No.
Uh, if it was to finish there, yeah, Leinster would play Connacht, Glasgow would play Edinburgh, Bulls would play Cardiff, and Sharks would play Munster.
Fair. Anyway, you mentioned Glasgow. Let's talk about them because
How frustrating!
they did something that's so unlike Glasgow, and
Yeah.
it's just not kick the ball out when the clock went red. I don't know what happened because you didn't have to kick it behind the dead baller. You can just kick it into touch. You're
Mm-hmm.
only about 5 meters out from the touchline. You could have just grubbered it. It couldn't. It didn't have to be a pretty kick. And
The only needed to run. He could have ran himself into touch.
that's what I'm saying. Like grubber it, run it. You weren't far away from the touchline.
No, he
And
could get into touch if you wanted to.
that'd be an interesting one. Just throw it. Just nope.
It didn't matter where it went as long as it went out. Um, but
And it's,
yeah.
I mean, fair play to Ospreys because that was some performance. But
Mm-hmm.
sticking with Glasgow for the time being, Jared Contabesio's back.
Yeah.
He's now fully pro. It's his first pro contract, so that's awesome. Patrick Schickerling got a double, and now as an extra Chiefs man, I was very happy to see that happen. And
Jack
yeah,
Mann
again,
got himself another try.
yep, you beat me to it. Yeah, Jack man again on the score sheet, and he will come up in shortly in the episode. But yeah, Glasgow. I don't even know what went wrong, to be honest. It's just strange affair. Because two tries Ospreys got, they split. I want to say the 13 channel wide open. Kieran
Yeah.
Hardy scored a peach, and then Keelan Giles as well got a very good, well worked try as well. But yeah,
This is what I don't get. Well, I don't know who they would have had on the bench, but Hastings playing 15 with Smith playing 13. With Mackay injured, I was expecting Hastings to start at 10 and Smith to go back to his natural position of fullback.
I'm starting to think they don't want him at fullback anymore.
Just
Also,
go.
yeah, I think they're trying to. I think this might again. It could be a Franco Smith thing. It might be a Sean Everett thing. It could be a Scottish rugby thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like we spoke about Ben Healy playing fullback a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think now that that's like okay, Ben, you're going to try and push for being a 15 to get into a Scotland team? All your best chance is actually playing in the midfield, even though the depth we've got in midfield
Put
is
you off
greater
there.
than the back three.
Let's go back because our listeners aren't going to get this. I've just realised you mentioning the Healy fullback thing. This was a conversation that we had on the phone. We didn't actually have that in the
Oh,
pod.
I thought we said
No,
on the
no,
podcast.
this was
My
something
bad, dude.
so I said to you just to fill our listeners in that if you're Ben Healy, how do you force your way back into the Scotland team? Because right now you would have had a better chance if he'd stayed in Ireland. And after Kinghorn, the drop off at 15 for Scotland is fairly substantial. And because he
Mm.
can already play 10, if Healy was to get himself going as a 15 because he already has the boot for it. He's great under the high ball. If he just focused on one or two other bits of his game, he could put himself down for a 23 shirt in the Scotland squad if he could get competent at playing fullback.
Yeah.
I think with the way that we don't know Boff is touch and go, and when he does play, he could be playing on the wing.
Mm.
Wish Houston was played out of position. It feels like a bit of a wasted opportunity. Healy could have been trained in at fullback, but it'd help him push into that Scotland team.
Wes Mitchell was at fullback.
Sorry?
Wasn't Wes Houston at fullback?
Yeah, but his natural position's a winger.
Yeah, but he's been a fullback for that long now. I get what you're saying. I do what you're saying,
Yeah.
but I think it was like the first time Boff got injured, and we moved Houston to fullback, and he did all right at it, and then they just went, "Cool, that's where you play now."
Yeah, you're a fullback.
Granted, the unfortunate events of Miliano Bapelli and Harry Patterson like simultaneously, you've not actually had much chance to see Wes Houston anywhere else. Like he just kind of has to keep playing at fullback.
I'm thinking for Scotland, touch with this, it doesn't happen. If Hugh Jones goes down, what's our depth like at 13? I can think of loads of 12s. I'm out a bit of a mind blank at the moment at 13.
No, because most of our centres are quite interchangeable.
Yeah. Like I
So
know Tui
staff can play 13, Masesi can play 13, Cam Redpath can play 13, Rory Hutchinson can play 13.
I thought they were all 12s. I mean, I knew Tui Piloto could play 13, but
Hutchinson's played 13 half of his games this season.
okay. I don't know why I was under the impression him, Redpath, McDowell, that they were all 12s.
When probably naturally more 12s, but Cam Redpath's like one of the smaller centres, so you could easily. He's played 13 at Bath. Um, yeah, the centre, our centres anyway, are very interchangeable. James
Yeah.
Lang can do both. I know that he's quite far down the pecking order, but he's still a good player. He can do
Kyle
both.
Kane, I suppose, if needed, was originally a 13.
I think that might be why they're wanting Ollie Smith.
Yeah, do you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, like Scotland have got a lot of good centres, but most of them are naturally 12s.
Mm,
Can Jordan play 13?
probably. Let's be honest. It
Yeah,
wouldn't
he can play
surprise
in
me
most
if Tom
places.
John couldn't. I'd be more surprised if he couldn't play 13, to be honest with you.
So yeah, sorry, carry on with your point now that we've filled them in with
No, no, that was
Healy.
it. Do you think that there could be whispers, shall we say, from like higher up, so like Townsend and Co. Be like, why don't you try Ollie Smith at outside centre and see how it works? If it doesn't work, then just put him back to fullback. Like that's fine. And then same with Edinburgh. Like, why not try Ben Healy at fullback because he's good under the high ball. He's got that long range kick on him. Buddy, buddy, blah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm just speculating here. It's just because that's like, especially the Ollie Smith side of things. Like Ben Healy's never played a game for Edinburgh at fullback. It was just because of like injuries that he ended up playing there. That's different. Whereas Ollie Smith, since his return, has not played fullback. He's been at outside centre.
Yeah.
Well, for Glasgow anyway. I think he was fullback for that emerging Scotland side that was woefully pish.
Yeah, I'd like to get some more people in there. Um, but anyway, we'll finish up on Glasgow before moving on to Scotland, right? And we'll do
So,
our Wales preview in a minute.
mm,
Look, just going through it, I didn't think Hastings was terrible at 15, but I suppose it'll take a couple of games before we know. I'd be very surprised if we keep him in at 15. That one surprised me more than Smith at 13 did.
no,
Um,
fair enough.
I thought Cordeo had quite a good game. Um, how do you
I thought
feel
you froze there
about
for
Munn?
Duncan Munn. He's he's good. He's got a bright future. It's just I, again, it's not his issue. It's when Glasgow can go full noise, he's not going to get a look in.
Yeah, yeah.
But then again, he wouldn't probably get a look in at Edinburgh either without sounding too horrible. I just think he's good enough. It's just yeah, it's a hard one to clamp down on. Like if you were to back him, he could be a
Hmm.
great talent. He could be massive, but he, the game time he gets is like wildly inconsistent. Again, that's not his fault.
Yeah. I mean, bright future. I thought Ferry had a good game. I really, really like the look of Ferry.
Yeah, Ewan Ferry is something special. I think he was meant to be part of the autumn international squad.
He was. He didn't go through injury. And Gregor said
Yeah,
that in one of the press conferences that he was just unlucky, but Ferry was meant to be involved with Scotland during the autumn.
I probably would have got capped against Portugal, just based off who we played.
Hmm.
But also,
Um,
just thinking, I'm thinking way into well, not way into the future. The USA game in November.
yeah.
There is absolutely no reason why you can't go Ewan Ferry on the blind side, Freddie Douglas at the open side, and Jack Mann at eight.
Oh, I've got him on my little board here. But what's going on with Freddie Douglas at the moment?
He's with under
Have you,
twenties,
oh, you played with the under 20s. I was going to say I've not seen it. It feels like I've not
which
seen
is the
that.
biggest waste of time ever. I really can't. I'm sick to death of the under twenties. I know that sounds hard.
I
They
don't know
just
what. Um,
they just get battered every
mhm.
week, especially in the Six Nations. Yes, they won the World Under 20 trophy, and it was good to see. It was quite fun to watch, and but it is a second tier competition.
It is, but it's Scotland under 20s, right? And I've made this point before because a lot of these players come through and step up to Scotland and are really, really good, or they go back to clubs and they have a really, really good game.
Mm.
Is it just that our under 20s are a bit poor? That they always get, let's be frank, spanked? Or is it the fact that they're just not coached that well? And I don't watch enough of them to say. Like the only time I ever see the under 20s is during the Six Nations. But I look at the players on an individual basis. You had Freddie Douglas, you had Ben
Mm.
Ashfar, I got the
See,
Beju.
this, see, I get asked this a lot, like, oh, is it not worrying, like, based on the results, is that not worrying for Scottish rugby's future? I'm like, well, no, because the
No,
ones that are good will still come through, like Ben Asher, Freddie Douglas, Jaria Contabeju, Darcy Graham, Finn Russell. Do you know what I mean? Like, they will come
yeah,
through, they will get a chance. It's just more, why is it not working? And I think it's because
mm-hmm.
none of them are pro, or like next to none of them are pro. They play in the pro academies in Glasgow and Edinburgh. I think it was maybe not this year. I think it's a bit more focal point this year, but last year's campaign, I believe it's like a 40-man squad,
Mm-hmm.
13 from Glasgow, 6 from Edinburgh. Where the fuck's the rest of them from?
But you have to remember, right? On top of this, and when people say, "Oh, does it worry you?" No, you have to remember about a third. And like, look, I want people to hear me out what I'm going to say here before I finish it, right? Um,
Okay.
about a third of England's academy is Scottish qualified, and about a
Oh yeah,
quarter of Ireland's academy is Scottish qualified.
yes.
So,
'Cause
with
people
it
need to
going like,
realise that the UK is small. Sorry, the UK is a small place. People move, but
yeah,
continue.
and I'm not going to say, oh no, we're nicking talent that doesn't belong to us. You have, you know, sons of former Scotland players that just happen to, play their careers down in England, went to Bath, Cameron Redpath, a good example. And when you were at that age, you were coached and you were told that it does not matter the nation that you play at youth level. The most important thing is that you get minutes. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people know, I got tryouts for Munster when I was a kid, and I was never ever deemed good enough to play. I had one tryout and I was blown out of the water. But in the club, and we were talking, and you'd hear coaches talking all the time, and we were told if we ever got call ups to play for anybody, Didn't matter if it was Wales, if it was Scotland, if
Just
it was
take it, yeah.
Ireland. You take it. You
Yeah.
Wait, not until you sign your first senior cap, then you can think in your heart and go, right, what's best for me? What do I really want to do? But when you're at a youth grade level,
Mm.
if you're playing down in England and you feel Scottish or you feel Welsh or you feel Irish, but England is offering you the chance to play for England under 16, under 18, under 20, you take it
Take
because
it.
you go
Yeah.
in, you get coached by some of the best coaches on the planet, and you play
Mm-hmm.
against other professionals around your level that are probably going to be your international peers in a handful of years. So you get yourself in that professional environment. So it's not just the players
I
come
get what
through
you're saying.
England's net and Ireland's net are so big, they're not going to look at Scotland players. Any good players that come through Scotland's system, Scotland are going to keep the lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
But there will be players that will want to play for Scotland that play for teams like Ireland and England.
Case in point, Ruben Logan. Ruben Logan was on the under-20s England team last year that won the World Championship, and he's with Scotland now.
Yeah.
Cam
So
Redpath, you already mentioned. Andy Christie is actually my favourite version of this because Andy Christie played Scotland under-16s, played England under-18s and under-20s, and then made a senior debut for Scotland.
yeah. So guys, don't get me wrong here. The media blow this hugely out of proportion about how bad Scotland's pathways is. Yeah, it's a bit different from the others. It's not nearly as bad as it's made out to be. Don't get me wrong, there is still huge room for improvement in the Scottish game. Neither of us are denying that.
No,
Both
absolutely, yeah.
would like to see massive improvements. But when it comes to the talent coming through, it's not nearly as bad as you think. We're not going to turn into a Wales in 5 years. The talent there is good. Where Scotland are sorted for the next decade, at least with some of these players that are coming through. Some guys are in the squad now that are young. Some people that are, around the edges are going to Beju, Max Williamson, Ben Ashfar, Ewan Ferry. These are all really young guys who are very, very good.
And all graduates from Scotland under-20. So
Yeah.
I
So,
think I had to do that video on TikTok because I was just fed up with people saying it, and I was like, I think I did it in the autumn, and it was like, here's this current squad, and like Matt Curry, Finn Russell, like Rory Darge, Matt Fagerson, Xander Fagerson, Grant Gilchrist, Johnny Gray, blah, blah, blah. And I just rattled like near enough the whole squad. I went, they've all came through Scotland under-20s.
and you have to remember the superstars, I'm going to put that in air quotation marks, that
Mm.
come through the Scottish youth system. You will not hear of them. You will not see them in the under 20s championship because Scottish rugby pay for them to go on scholarships to South Africa or New
Yeah.
Zealand, and they play at the other end of the world. Finn Russell was one of them.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, you're like, oh, who's these guys? Scottish rugby I've known about for a long time. I've sent them to have a scholarship at the other end of the world in a really good rugby country. It's usually New Zealand or South Africa, and they
Mm.
come back worldies.
Yep.
So
I mean,
it's so yeah.
I have got a question for you because
Go on.
I'm really unfamiliar with this rule. So if this rule does not exist, I have a plan in place. If it does exist, then it goes to shit. If you play for Scotland A or England A, does that
Yep.
count as the 3-year thing?
No, no, it's not deemed a real cap. It's
That's what I
his
thought.
yeah.
'Cause some people are saying that, like, oh no, like, and this is what I'm on about. So Henry Pollock, the sensation of England right now,
Uh-huh.
the 19-year-old wonder kid that is carving up for Northampton. Both his
Uh-huh.
parents are Scottish, but he
Mm-hmm.
plays in England under-20s because he was born in England and again better opportunities. But
Yeah.
he has played for England A
Yeah.
and has been in that setup. He has not been officially capped by England. He has trained
Yeah.
with England, and the way I see it is, to my knowledge, the A is it is a learning experience, but you're not getting capped. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. It's
So, by this logic, this is what I'm going with. There's 2 rounds left of the Six Nations. If Henry Pollock does not get capped, there is no reason why he can't go on that flight to the Pacific Islands with Scotland in the summer
Well, if he wants, I think he's come out publicly and said he wants to play for England, but that's probably only because he's in the mix at the moment. You probably find that that's off the radar now. But if he got an injury that put him out for a couple of months and he fell off England's radar, he may reconsider. But yes, your point stands. He could get 20 caps for England A, but it's not deemed a full international cap. It's long if his parents are Scottish, he could play 20 times for England A and then still play for anyone he wants as long as he qualified through some regard.
Yeah.
So,
See,
right.
that's what I
So,
thought. That is what I thought because I have had people saying that the A fixtures are now part of the 3 year cool period, which I don't know. That's why I was asking.
do you know what? I've got my computer open in front of me. Give me 2 seconds, and I'll find out. I
Okay.
don't. I don't think so. But, does the international A cap keep talking?
What are you going to ask? What are you typing into Google? Because that's a very specific question.
Yeah, I know. Does an international A cap affect eligibility?
You've put the right words in. I don't know if Google's going to spit anything out. Did you
Okay.
mean this? No, that's not what he meant. It just had me thinking because, I mean, I wouldn't say no to getting Henry Pollock, and I feel like there's other players that fall in that criteria, and we're just not talking about them because it's like, oh well, they're with England A.
Oh, that's football rules, rugby,
And
and rugby.
yeah, it's just a very weird. It's a weird scenario, regardless.
Yeah, when a
Because
player
I've had some people saying that the law update for the cool down period where you've not been capped in 3 years, it does include A fixtures, but I'm like, but it doesn't. It shouldn't because you're not getting capped.
unless it's changed
There you
to
go.
my it doesn't.
People in the comments, let us if you genuinely know the answer. Let me and Dan know. You can message either one of us, and
Yeah,
yeah, it's just because I know it's a very rare case. Like both his parents are Scottish, so I was just like, well, yeah.
I mean Google's AI thing says yes, it does, but again, Google's AI thing's wrong half the time. But I think it's not reading it as a cap. I think it's reading it as a cap. Uh,
uh, uh
so I don't know.
That's
But
fine.
do you know what? I'm gonna look. I'm gonna have to look that up because it's gonna bother me until I find that out. So
Sorry, man. I shouldn't have said anything then. Sorry about
and turn our attention towards
that. Wales.
Wales. So Scotland Six Nations is over as going for the championship. But there is one particular set of results that need to take place for Scotland to still be able to win the title.
Need
Do you want
we
to
need
do it?
France. Need France to trip up and trip up Ireland, and we need England to lose to
So
Italy
you
or
want
Wales.
France to win by four. You want France to get a 4 point win, not a 5 point win, and Ireland to get nothing. We need to beat Wales with a bonus point win,
Yeah,
and we would want Italy to beat um, England. So in this
well,
case,
that's not entirely true because you could also just have Wales beat England.
no, well, you'd still want that to happen the week after to keep England off your tail. So,
Fair.
so we beat Wales with a 5 pointer. France
Mm.
beat Ireland with a 4 pointer. Ireland walk away empty-handed, and Italy beat England. So we leapfrog England again,
Uh-huh.
and we've gained ground on both France and Ireland. That
Yeah.
means we go into Super Saturday with the game still on. Now, for this, you would need Italy to beat Ireland in Rome. Ireland,
And
that's where it goes. You need Italy to beat Ireland and Rome. We would then have to go to Paris and win, and Wales would then have to beat England in the Principality. Now, if those six results happen, we're champions, baby.
oh,
That's how we win. That's how Scotland win the title. If any of you are still wondering, it's really, really unlikely to happen. But if that set of results go,
Hey, stranger things have happened. Maybe
if
not that.
from
Actually, I
dumber
tell
to
a lie.
dumber, dumber. So you're telling me there's a chance?
There's always a chance, but we need to clamp down and basically be in that discussion. Because if we then trip up to Wales or France, then it's just done anyway. So
Yeah, look, there's a very real possibility that England trip up on Super Saturday. So as much as the title's over for us, realistically, I think the hopes of us getting a top half finish aren't. I think we could still get third. And look, at this
maybe
rate, I'd
you
take
could
it.
aim for second. There's not much in it. Again, you'd have to have Ireland or France below the other one.
Well, yeah, I
Ireland,
mean, if Ireland go on to win the Grand Slam, right? Um,
will
if
never get in
France
there.
then lose to Ireland, that's France lost two games as well.
Yeah,
So if Ireland win the Grand Slam, you could beat England, Scotland, and France could basically be having a three-way shootout for second.
that's fine.
So, but we need to not get ahead of ourselves because this is now a pivotal game.
But
We could have a
you
disaster
just said
situation
you
here.
just said you just said the 6 games that we need to go our way to win the Six Nations, and then you went, "Don't get ahead of yourself."
Yeah, I know. Look, that was just giving it optimistic, but again, Wales look resurgent now, and a loss to Wales, and we're cooked, absolutely cooked.
I don't think we're going to lose to Wales. Yes, it
So we've
was
had,
a resurgence, but there's no. It might have just been cause no one expected what to happen.
yeah,
Now that has gone. We've had 2 weeks now. A week and a half, sorry. Like, so you now go, okay, look at how Cardiff play. And that's basically what you do. Because Matt Sherritt has been with Cardiff, like, during the week. Like, there's pictures of it. That he goes to do Cardiff training in the morning and then reports to Wales training in the afternoon. And I'm like, dude, do you have like any time off?
Wales looked really good now.
Did they?
Like people that follow me on TikTok will know I do a power rankings thing, and it's got Scotland in for a heavy, heavy win. And I don't think Scotland are going to win the game nearly as comfortable as we were initially expected to win this by, because we're now playing Matt Sherritt's Wales. We're not playing Gatland's Wales. So totally different expectations and perspectives on this. Matt Sherritt's Wales, I can only go by the Ireland game, but they look decent.
They did look
Also,
decent.
Wales and the Principality are also a different beast, though, at the same time.
Exactly. So, and neither of that's coming into play.
Yeah, yeah. So you and I are both going to be there. We were actually
Yes.
discussing before we came on air about how early we were going to get to the stadium or not. Um,
Mm.
we're both really excited for the game.
Can you not
So,
tell by our tone of voice?
uh,
I'm
babe,
just no, I'm just
my
tired.
end gave the six fixture run that we needed to become the champions. I gave you the blueprint. Do with that what you will.
I'm not doing it. I get enough abuse online. I'm not dealing with that as a video. I'm like, typical arrogant Scots. Blah 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 blah. Shut up.
Oh, the Irish. Oh, they love us. Do you know what? I did a video on there and I put up a requested one. What video would you like me to make for you? And I
Uh,
had two separate Irish guys message me saying, "Can you do a video on Irish arrogance?" Like, I don't get where it comes from. One of the guys said Ireland were crap during the 80s, crap
yep.
during the whole Five Nations era. We were the whipping boys of the 90s. I don't see where this sudden Irish arrogance comes from. And I'm looking into it, right? I don't think it's an Irish arrogance. I think it's a Dublin arrogance. I
That's the
don't
same thing this time. It's not. I'm just taking the piss that it is a
from the
line.
fan base, I don't think it's the same coming from Munster, Connacht, and Ulster. I think it's a certain Dublin attitude. You know how in the UK you get a certain attitude the closer to London you get. I think in Ireland it must be the same, but the closer to Dublin that you
Mm.
get.
Surely that works for like getting to Edinburgh as well, or is that just are we just all genuinely just oh shucks?
Scotland's a different dynamic. It's weird because
Well, there's
our
no tribalism
capital
for one.
isn't our largest city, unlike most other countries. Like Glasgow's our
It is
biggest
our
city,
best.
but Edinburgh's our capital.
It is our best city though. So,
Oh,
that's a personal thing though.
What's the best sort of guy?
I'm not on about rugby. I'm just on about like actual city. Yeah.
Edinburgh's a fantastic city. For those that aren't there, it's the safest city in the entirety of the UK. It's the nicest looking city, and there's so much to do. The people are friendly, and for a capital city, like people in Scotland moan about it being expensive, but compared to like London or Cardiff or Dublin, it's really not.
Peanuts. Yeah.
No, it's like marginally like both of us live up just shy of an hour outside of Edinburgh. And when we travel into Edinburgh for the day, yeah, things are a little bit more expensive, but it's not hugely more
No,
expensive
it's
than
not
it is
bank.
around
It's not
here.
bank breaking. I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say it's bank
No.
breaking.
I mean, the difference between Fife and Edinburgh really isn't a huge amount, but like when I lived down in the southeast of England, going from Buckinghamshire and High Wycombe into London, would break the bank.
Bad.
Well, it was just a
Anyway,
train. Anyway, enough of our dribble. Let's go through our match day 23 against
yes.
the Wolves.
First question then: have you got a 6-2 or a 5-3?
I have a 5-3.
I too have a 5-3. There you go. So we're confident we're going to win this one.
Yeah. Now,
That's what we're checking up there.
with a squad as settled as Scotland's, and Murray and I very rarely have the same squad down. So, I'm quite interested to see what you've got.
Okay. Right. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say we've got the exact same front row of Pierre Schumann, Dave Cherry, and Xander Fagerson.
Yeah. All right. I'll do the
Okay.
locks.
Uh-huh.
I've won Brown and Gilco.
Ooh, okay, so we are different. I've still got Johnny Gray starting. So
Okay, you've gone grey.
yeah, I've gone Gray and Gilchrist.
All right. Okay. I'll
But
let you go.
I see why you went.
I'm a big fan of Brown. Um,
So back row. Now back row's probably the one that you probably disagree on more. Not disagree, but like you can change a lot more than the rest of the positions. Back
go
row,
on.
I've gone Jamie Ritchie starting at the six because of the shift he put in at England. I'm like,
He
I
was a
can't drop
monster
that.
because of Cup Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got Rory Dards at the seven because that one seems fairly clamped on.
Yeah.
And at number eight, making his Scotland debut, Jackman.
All right. All right. I like it. I like it.
Thank you.
I've not what I've gone at all. Like I had, I'm going to sound like a hypocrite because I think when I did my last week's one, was the one that had Jackman in at eight. If I
Okay.
remember in last week's episode, and now I've taken him out. I've disagreed with you here, and this is I love individually Rory Darge and Jamie Ritchie as players,
Mm.
but you know how I feel about this. You cannot play them both together. In the modern game, they're both a little bit light. You can get away with playing one, they're great on the floor, but if you
Mhm.
start Jamie Ritchie, you have to play someone else instead of Darge. And if you start Darge, you can't play Ritchie. It makes us too vulnerable, it makes us too lightweight. I've gone for the traditional back three of Matt Fagerson, Darge, and Dempsey, although I've got this written down. Is it too late for me to change it? Because I agree with you. I'd swap out Dempsey for Man. Do you know what? It's our podcast. I'm
Yeah, do what
swapping.
you want. Yeah, do what you
You
want.
know,
It's not
I,
confirmed.
I think you're good there. I had him in last week. I'm sticking to my word. So I'm going to go
I
Matt
just
Fagerson at
think
six, Darge
I,
at seven, and Man at eight.
I just think Jackman is on an absolute tear the for Glasgow Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, he held down that eight jersey when Dempsey was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that needs to get rewarded. And I love Jack Dempsey, but if we're going to be realistic here, not his finest tournament.
Yeah. Tell you who I wouldn't mind seeing getting a bench spot in for this game, who I really like.
Go on then.
Muncaster.
Yeah, didn't think about that because he wasn't in the squad due to injury, and now he's back, absolutely
He
caving.
had a great game against Munster, and you look, we're long enough in so I can swear now. You know how much I like a big bastard back three.
Hey, said it.
Yeah, I love a big bastard back three. And I think it makes our scrum so much more powerful. And I feel like it's where,
Oh,
especially with the locks we've got, we're a bit lightweight. I like that bit of oomph.
okay.
Um,
So I'm gonna take that logic that you just gave me, and
yeah,
I'm gonna raise you. I'm not saying this is my squad. We're just spitballing here. Let's say you did Fagerson, Darge, and Dempsey. Man, sorry, that
yeah,
you've changed it, and you bring on Magnus Bradbury.
yeah. I was actually thinking that I would happily go like a because Muncaster can also play seven, can't he?
He plays seven mostly for Edinburgh.
Yeah.
He is a
I would
seven.
love,
Yeah.
I'd love to see like a Matt Fagerson, Muncaster, Bradbury,
Mm,
6, 7, 8 combo.
but nice.
Like just huge, huge men. I wouldn't look man at 8. Man's a big man as well. Hey,
Big man. It's such a stupid thing with puns. It's
yeah.
like the same with oh, what's his name? Ellis Mee, that made his debut for Wales. And
Mm.
obviously the commentators use it on surnames. Every time it was like foul to me, and I'm like, I'm not doing anything. Stop saying I'm doing it. And it was just a rubbish joke. But me does this. Me under the high ball. Like that.
So yeah, it's oh, you get me excited about the big bastard back row now. But okay, so look for the ones that are available. I've gone Matt Fagerson, Rory Darge, Jack Mann.
Mm.
Um, just can't drop Darge right now. Yeah,
See,
that's all I've gone for.
I don't think we can drop Richie right now either though. That's the thing. But anyway,
Yeah,
that's
but the thing
apples
is,
and
we've got more
pears.
depth at 6 than we do at 7. That's the only reason for it.
Well,
If
Darge can
we
also
had,
play six. Richie can also play seven.
mm,
Just to be really
but
awkward. Yeah.
Darge is also co-captain though.
No,
He
no, but
is.
I'm just saying like they two are very interchangeable on the sides as well. Anyway, into the backs. I'll let you start with half backs because I've finished up
Right?
on the back row.
Yeah. Um, as much as I love Horn, it's gonna be Ben White and Finn Russell. Ben White's box kick has been incredible. He scored a
Mhm.
try in every game he's played. Finn Russell, I know he had a few poor kicks, but outside of the kicking, his general play against the Calcutta Cup was immense, right? And we're not making excuses for him. We're trying to gloss over anything. He was genuinely immense. I was I was at the game. I text you afterwards. I was actually quite angry, but when I went back and I watched the game and I had no alcohol or adrenaline in my system, I was like, no, I was totally wrong on that. Finn Russell had a fantastic game, and 2 out of 3 of his kicks were really tough. He
I
had
mean,
bad
yeah.
kicks.
You text me like 5 minutes after the game. I'm still like in the grieving period, as we say. And
Yeah.
Dan texts me. I can't remember all of it, but basically, like, I
I'll,
would.
I'll read it. I remember I said that good players get benched all the time. Finn Russell cannot be the exception to the rule. I drop him against Wales, is what
Yeah,
I sent that to you while I was having some guy poking me in the ribs while I was walking down the steps at Twickenham. Um,
Carmen. Yeah, you sent me that 5 minutes after the game, and
yeah,
I read it. I went, not even replying to that. I think I sent you like a broken heart emoji instead. Just like I'm
yeah,
saying nothing.
I was absolutely gutted. But look, no, after watching the back, Russell had a fantastic game. The only thing I
You know
might
what?
do is if his kicking isn't great, I may give kicking responsibilities to someone like Kinghorn.
Hmm.
Um, look, that's not the worst in the world. Kinghorn's a great kicker.
Exactly.
So if he's not having a good kicking game, just take the goal kicking responsibilities off him. If George
Exactly.
Horn ends up playing, let Horn kick at goal.
Yeah.
So we have other kickers. So
We do. We absolutely do. Anyway,
I'll let
centres.
you go into centres.
I mean, it's the easiest part, isn't
Oh,
it?
actually, do you agree with me with the halfbacks before we move on?
Oh, well, Ben White and Finn Russell, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, I'll let you go into the centres then.
Is there actually much point? I'm not being rude. Like, we know what it's going to be. The
Well,
man
it's
of
just
the hour, man of the hour, Tom Jordan at 12, because he's fantastic. I love watching Tom Jordan.
yeah,
And Mr. Four Tries, Hugh Jones.
yeah. I'm exactly the same.
Yeah.
So for the back three, this is where we might disagree. I've
Don't,
gone
wait, sorry,
Duhan.
don't do something stupid like drop Duhan. I know what you're like.
Stay. I've gone Kinghorn at the back. I've gone Duhan van de Merwe on one wing,
Hey.
but I have dropped Darcy Graham. I've gone Kyle Rowe on the other wing. I just think he had too much of a good game against England. I don't on form. He doesn't deserve to be dropped. I know Darcy Graham's got the legacy and he's got the credit at the bank, but
hmm
Rowe is being played out of his skin. I
Well,
just it'd be cruel if you took it away from him.
well, Dan, this is a rare case in this podcast because I'm the complete same. I'm the exact same as you. I I can't see why. Like Duhan is absolutely cooking, where Kinghorn's
Yeah.
on great form, and like you said, I mean, it's not Darcy's fault they got hurt. We know that. But Kyle Rowe stepped up in some serious fashion, and he didn't look out of place either.
No, he didn't. He didn't. And the, his ability under the high ball, what impressed me especially because I was close enough to eye level in Twickenham. I think I was about 15 seats up from the ground. Right. Uh,
Okay.
there was a
Yeah.
couple of the high balls that he took, but he ran in, took them at air, and the speed, and that's one thing you appreciate when you're at eye level, the speed that he was taking them on. Other
Mm.
people were just taking it and let the ball fall into him, not him with them. Um,
Yeah, there was a few I seen that like I think there was one in particular that like his timing was a bit off. It's like he overshot it, but he still caught it because he like threw himself back the way.
yeah.
And I was like, the dedication to no, I'm getting this ball. Hats off to you. Fair bloody play. And also, I love Kyle. He's my guy.
Oh, he's
I
such a
text
good
him.
player. He's met him a couple of times. I've actually got over there hanging up. I've got a shirt, Jin's purple.
Yeah,
Um, do you know what? I'll show it to the listeners of the pod. Give me 2 seconds.
there you go. But yeah, Kyle Rowe was fantastic against England. He was making meters. He was good under the high ball, like me and Dan mentioned. Doesn't deserve to be dropped. As good as much as we like. Oh
I'm not
yeah,
sure how much that shows on camera, but my partner, she goes to the games where there's top, and every game she gets a new signature on the back of her top. And one
did
of
she
the
just
first
get one?
to sign it was Rowe.
Nice. I've already told you the funny story about Kyle though, with me.
Which one was that?
Right. So for those listening, I actually know Kyle Rowe. I was fortunate enough to interview him on a different podcast, and we kept in touch. I consider him a friend, not a close friend, but we're on a friendly basis. I've texted him a few times, this and that. We were at the second leg of the 1872 Cup, and I had my oldest with me. Then bear in mind he's only 4. He's excited. He wants to meet other players. Kyle sees me, completely pies my oldest one, and goes to see me first. And then they was like, "Oh shit, is that your wee one?" I was like, "Yeah, that's cool though." It was such a funny moment. He is such a great guy. He's good with my oldest as well. So there you go.
Yeah, he is honestly such a nice guy. He
But
really
wait,
is.
'cause people are going to moan about this as well because he's not Scottish born.
Ah,
Spoiler: his dad's military. His dad's military. It doesn't count.
yeah, but look, I'm sick of hearing this.
I'm sorry,
Technically,
yeah.
Jamie Ritchie and Ali Price never counted as Scottish-born players either. But look, it's the
Jamie
way it is.
Ritchie.
Get over it. Yeah, I think he was technically he was. I'll have to double check this. That somebody was telling. I know Ali Price does it because he went through the Saracens Academy, I believe.
Oh
Um,
yeah, he's from like King's Lynn or something. Yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty sure Jamie Ritchie didn't count as well. Um,
But this is how do you define what counts? Like, I remember, I'm going off topic here, but Ryan Wilson and Jim Hamilton talked about it because they say it's the accent that's the big focal point.
Yeah.
And
But look,
most of our players have a Scottish accent.
look, I'm going to stand correct on Jamie Ritchie. God, he doesn't sound like it. Where do you think Jamie Ritchie was born?
Dundee.
Okay, you knew that. I didn't. He
Well, I
does
was
not
just like,
sound Dundonian.
that was just a guess. I was just guessing because of like where he played. Because like George Horn is like George Horn's from Cooper, but he was born in Dundee because it'd be the closest hospital.
Uh, he played
Ah,
for
there
him
you go.
the Origin round. Anyway, look, we've gone off topic again. Let's go through
Sorry.
our bench. I did the back three, so we've both gone 5-3. I'll let you go through
Yeah.
the forwards on your bench, and I'll do the backs. Who are your
Okay,
five?
that's cool. Five forwards. I've gone Jimmy Batty just because Roy
Yeah,
Surrell played out against England with a back injury. Now I've hurt my back a few times. That's not the on a
yeah.
2 week turnaround. That's quite. It depends on the extent, obviously.
Like if you've ever hurt your back, I'm the same. I used to work
Course.
in a tile showroom once upon a time, and I went to bend down and get a bunch of tiles, and I twinged it once, and I
Mhm.
swear to God, it took about 8 months before it fully healed. Like
Yeah.
little things, like even though it wasn't hurting me every day, but anytime there were slight bits away, I could feel it being pushed on my back. Like back injuries take ages.
They do, absolutely. So that's why I've gone Jimmy Batty. Um, I've still gone Ewan Ashman. Just don't do an out the back pass this time, please. That's my
I've
only
not
request.
that's dropped him for me. I've gone Paddy Harrison.
Fair enough. I think what kept Ashman on the bench for me was he did do quite well against Munster. So and
Mm-hmm.
Paddy Harrison got sent off. So there you go.
He got that yellow. I'd like Harrison to develop as a player.
Hmm.
I'd like him to get a little bit more game time. And for
Plus,
me,
you're a big fan, like personally, like on a personal level with Paddy.
oh, I love Paddy. Paddy's such a great guy. I've only spoken to him a handful of times, but every time I speak to him, he's always lovely. Paddy Harrison
Also,
and Benny V are like, oh, Benny V and Paddy Harrison's number one fan over here.
anyway, I'll stuck with Ashman. I wouldn't be against Paddy Harrison getting a nod.
Yep.
I've gone Will Hard. Again, it's such a weird position because like Will Hard's probably our long-term project.
Yeah,
But like
and that's
again, and
fine.
again, this isn't his fault, but I can't when it comes up to like the bit like before Six Nations or before All Nations, I can't pick him because he doesn't play. He has
No.
no game time for Leicester Tigers.
No, this is one position where, look, I'm not the biggest fan of project players or, well, I say project players, residency players, right?
Uh,
But in a country the size of Scotland, this is one position that we need them. Like, we know that we've got Sutherland and we've got Batty and we're going to have Bowen Venter coming up behind Schumann, but behind Xander Fagerson, there is such a drop
yeah,
that, like, if I was the scouts, the foreign scouts for Scottish rugby, like that's my number one
yeah.
position that we need to get. But I've gone for Hard
It's
as
like
well for the same
yeah,
reason.
I talk about Ollie Blythe from the under 20s.
Yeah,
Like he's going to be good. He's still only 18. Like I can't you can't justify him coming off the bench for Xander, for example.
yeah.
That's so far and in between.
If it was a year later, this could have been a game to drop him in. But definitely, let's give him the baptism of fire during the summer tour. Let him play the Maori All Blacks. Ollie Blythe Lafferty, see how he gets
Take
on.
him, yeah. Why not?
I think we're playing Fiji as well, aren't we? Or is it?
That's nothing's. This is really annoying me now because nothing's been confirmed apart from the Maori All Blacks.
Uh huh.
But from that fixture alone, tells me we're doing a Pacific Islander tour,
Mm-hmm.
which would imply Samoa, Tonga, Fiji. But knowing Scotland's luck, it'll probably be like Papua New Guinea or something like that.
I can't remember. It's not been confirmed, but I'm pretty sure we are meant to be playing like a Fiji or a Tonga or a Samoa or someone as well. But
We're
yeah, it's
playing
going to
Tonga.
be.
We're playing Tonga in the autumn. They're coming to us, but the only
Hmm,
one that's been confirmed for the summer is Maori All Blacks.
All Blacks. Yeah, I'm just looking at it now. Well, there'll
But
be
I'm just
more.
spitballing, just because of that part of the world. You tend to play countries around that. If you're doing
Yeah.
like a summer tour, you just kind of stick to the one part of the world.
Who'd How would you feel if a weekend Scotland went over to Australia and played one of the dirt track games against the Lions?
I mean, why not? Didn't Wales do that? Didn't they play New Zealand when they play? I think they played New Zealand when like they were like when the Lions were in Australia the last time. I'm sure
Hmm.
that's what happened.
Who are your other two forwards then?
Oh, sorry. Gregor Brown.
Well, I started Browner. I've gone
Yeah,
Gray.
yeah, and I've got Matt Ferguson coming off the bench. So I've dropped Jack Dempsey altogether.
So out of our forwards, we've agreed on one out of five.
That's not too bad. Could be worse. Could be
We both
zero.
agree with Batty. I've gone Harrison, Hurd, Gray, and Ritchie,
No, I've
and
gone
you've
hard.
gone.
I went
Oh
hard.
no,
I
you've
went
gone
hard.
Hurd. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. Two out of
I'll
five.
give it 2 out of 5. Still not great.
Um, right. So I'll do the backs then.
Okay.
Um, I've gone George Horn, scrum half.
So have I. Yes.
I've gone for now. I'm assuming he's fit. Um,
Oh, I could already sense the name when the sentence comes out.
yeah, I've gone for the returning Kyle Steen.
I
Really
have
want
not.
Steen out of this.
I
Uh,
have not.
and I've gone for to get his debut, Fergus Burke in the 23 jersey. I've got Hornstein Burke as
Okay. So
my
I've got Fergus Burke in the 22 jersey,
right.
and I've got Staff McDowell in the 23. As
See, I
mu-
think that
See,
Stafford, I think Steen covers more positions.
no, I get that. I understand why you've done it. But like, as much as I want to see it, because I would go Rory Hutchinson. I'm starting to now just think, oh, he's just there to hold a tackle pad.
Yeah,
For
he's not. He's not.
staying,
He's not a Thames End player. Let's be fair.
I'm starting
I
to
like
wonder
him. We talked about this at the start of the Six Nations. We both
that. We
had
had honestly as the heir to Sione.
yeah. We had him. We had Tom Jordan in the 23 shirt, and we both had Hutchinson starting at 12. But
Aged
yeah,
like milk, that one, hasn't it?
yeah. Sometimes I'm like, especially the TikTok stuff, which is like, oh God, I really know my stuff at rugby. I know my stuff, and there's other stuff that just like, oh man, I chat a lot of dribble sometimes.
Yeah, I get it all the time. I'll say stuff, and then people are like that aged well. Shut up.
So Dewi Light's back for Wales.
Yeah,
But he's expected to start. Um, Jack Morgan's been really good. I think Blair Murray has been good. I think Townsend
so
is
right.
now
This
under.
is what we have to talk about this. Sorry to interrupt, because
Yeah,
it's the perfect game to talk about it. How are we living in a world where Blair Murray plays for Wales and Hugh Jones plays for Scotland? How have we buggered this?
there has to be a photo where Blair Murray and Hugh Jones swap shirts after the game.
Yeah, just
Have to, have to. Hugh Jones and Blair Murray. Also, I did a St David's Day video the other day. And
Mhm.
one thing I want to see, and I don't know where you stand on it, like I know why they've banned it, and I'm politically, look, I don't talk about it a lot. I'm fairly liberal, I'm fairly left leaning, but there's some things I think are stupid. Like they took
Oh,
away
go on.
Delilah and the Principality,
Oh,
and it was
so
one of the things
stupid.
I missed. Delilah in full voice down the Principality. Like I tagged Scottish Rugby in one of my videos. Like, can we just when we play Wales, can we play Delilah in the stadium, please? Where do you stand on that?
No, I agree. I think there's worse songs that still get sung. be honest.
England and their chariots.
Yeah,
Sorry.
very much, yeah.
Um,
I understand that some things can't and can't be said and this and that. But you've got to then don't be stupid with it.
uh-huh.
Like, okay, you can't say racial slurs. I'm not saying that was good beforehand, just to clarify. Right, no, that's bang out of order. You can't say stuff like that. To sing a song that came out, when did Delilah come out? Like 1973, something like that.
It's something mental like that.
Just let songs be songs. Let films be films. See when people see when this is again we're going off on one. See when Sean Connery passed away. People were
Yeah.
commenting like, "Oh, he's a scumbag because he hit women." He didn't hit women. There's a joke in like the first James Bond film, like, "Don't make me smack you, sweetheart." That's what you said. That's just what people said back then. I don't agree with it.
68, by the way, Delilah. Came out in the 60s.
Just fucking let a song be a song. It's not hard.
Yeah. I think it's more just because
Because
the
Delilah's
Welsh
a wrong
are known for their singing. And like I've sung along to Delilah. I'm not a big Tom
Yeah.
Jones fan, but the
I
song
am.
Delilah,
I'm going to see Tom. I'm going to see Tom Jones in August. There you go.
oh yeah. It's it's such a good it's such a good banger, but especially when the Welsh are in full voice singing it. It's like
And
us in
again,
500 miles, right?
yeah,
I it like if someone said, "Oh, we're taking away Chelsea Dagger or 500 miles or something," the belt or
yeah.
well, it doesn't really have the same bit yet, but you'd feel there. Or if you told the Irish they couldn't sing "Zombie" anymore, you're taking away something from the game.
And again, like I don't care. I actually like Bread of Heaven, but Bread of Heaven's probably the one that you don't. Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
If you're going down that route,
Yeah, just I hope they do it. Like, because if I heard it on at Murrayfield, pre-match or whatever, I'd sing along to it.
does it have to be Delilah that you can't sing, or can we just sing any Tom Jones song?
No, it's Delilah because it's in the song Delilah. I'm not sure what I can and can't say on podcast, but he Shanks
She's
as
on.
part.
Yeah, because she cheated on him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why,
justified. Sorry.
why, Delilah?
I'm just saying, just like Pelt out green, green grass at home. That was a banger as well by Tom Jones.
So
Green, green grass of home. Anyway, sorry.
we'd never make it on X Factor or The Voice, would we?
No, but that's fine. The real money's here.
Right. Okay. Let's wrap it up. Right. Um. Let's go into our predictions.
Okay.
I know how much I think Scotland are going to win by, but I'm trying to think of an actual result.
It's like Scotland, da Wales,
Yeah. So I'm going to go. I'll go first.
Okay.
Actually, no. I went first last time. I'll let you go first. I've got my scores done.
Scotland 35. Wales
Wales.
12.
You always have to outdo me just by a couple of points, don't you?
How?
For those who are seen on YouTube, I have gone Scotland 32, Wales 17. Scotland to win by 15 points for me.
The thing is, right, see when you're like, right, predictions, I was then going to go Scotland by 15.
Oh, get out of here, man.
And then when you went scores, I was like, right, I'm going to go a bit ballsy or not by 15.
Do you know, I'm going to make one prediction, right? It's going to be similar to the first game you and I went to together. So Murray and I met when I was still living down in England. and the first time we actually met in person was at a Scotland-Wales game. I'm going to go for us to win fairly heavily, but Wales are going to score first. And
That's
going
fine.
into halftime, it's going to be really tight. And just like that game, I'm going to come out at halftime raging. And you're going
You
to be like,
can't.
oh,
No,
chill,
no,
chill,
no,
chill.
no. If you come out raging, I will just slap you. We're that close friends now. I'm allowed to just.
I'll slap you back. Don't worry.
That's fine.
We'll get kicked out, be jumping over the fence trying to see the second half.
I do have a prediction.
Right.
The Maverick is going to silence his haters. Finn Russell is going to have an absolute masterclass, and he's just going to go like he's going to wink at the camera, or he's going to shush. He's going to do something like that, and yeah, gang signs for days. So probably the safe bet's gang signs,
Yeah.
but
Finn Russell hat trick.
maybe not a hat trick. But I could see a Shuggy hat trick. I could see a Hugh Jones hat trick,
Do you know?
which would equal Jacob Stockdale's record of most tries in a tournament.
All right, all right.
There you go.
Let's make it happen. Just give them all to Hugh Jones. Let him get that try.
Give
Oh,
it to
there's a
Shuggy.
bet you have. Hugh Jones and Blair Murray both to score.
I feel like the odds on that wouldn't actually be that great. I know what you're doing. I know it would be funny, but yeah, I don't think the odds would be that great.
No.
Anyway, that's fine. We'll be there at Murrayfield. We'll be loud and proud. We're
Mhm.
going to keep the Doddie Cup.
Yeah, let's keep some bit of silverware. Look, and just for the Six Nations in general, let's hope other results go our way. Because look,
Blah, blah, blah.
even if they don't go that way, but if France were to win over in Ireland, right, and let's just say Italy finally got a win over England, I still hold true that Italy are getting 2 wins this tournament. But let's just say it makes that final round that little bit of jeopardy
Gives you
going
a bit
into
of
the
something,
final
yeah.
round.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for rugby, let's just hope it happens. But
For,
look,
rug- for
let's
rugby.
leave it there for this week. Thank you so much for listening. I have dropped the ball. Murray has not. If you want to catch last week's episode, you can only get it on YouTube because I
Oh, you did that.
on Spotify.
Oh,
For those of you that listen, I look over all the audio platforms. So it's me that does it for Spotify, for Apple, for Amazon Music, and all the little ones. I do that. Murray edits it, and he does the YouTube bits. I
I make the
I have
clips on
all
TikTok
the
as
family
well.
stuff going on and traveling up and down the country. I completely dropped the ball. So if you're wondering where last week's episode is, it's only on YouTube. I'll make sure this episode gets everywhere else, though.
She just said, because I put it on Instagram, it's available on all streaming platforms. It isn't. My apologies.
It's not. Anyway,
You
look,
can tell me
that,
and Dan don't communicate when it comes to this stuff.
yeah, that's my bad. We need a social media manager.
We do. We absolutely do. Anyway, we'll see what happens.
Sponsor or budget.
I'm sure Jen can do it if she's lovely, willing to.
Oh, Jen's not very good with technology at all.
So that's out of the picture. Oh well. Looks like
Yeah.
you're just gonna have to trust us for the meantime. Anyway, we'll be back next week discussing the Wales game and then looking forward to the crunch.
Well,
Like I can't even call it like crunch because England. I don't know what our game's called.
the old alliance is what our one of France's.
Which historically isn't true, but hey ho.
What do you mean? It's not true? We've been besties with France for like most of our history. It's just England that don't like them.
I think that's just a common team. Anyway, we'll leave it there and we'll.
Your enemy is my friend, and that basically sums up England, Scotland, and France's relationship.
Fair enough. Right. Well, we'll leave it on that. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Follow me and Dan on TikTok. Dan is at Rugby Realm. I am at Blissful Rugby. If you like the podcast, give that a follow on Instagram and TikTok as well. It is at Celtic Kickoff. And until next week, have a good one. Enjoy the rugby, and we'll see you next time.